2 Arctic blasts, a full week of tornadoes, and a squall line that could leave hundreds of thousands without power. 36 million Americans are sitting in Tuesday's bullseye right now, and that number was 48 million yesterday. Good grief, folks, the atmosphere is in full repeat mode and not letting up through end of April. Apple-sized hail that shatters windshields, 80 miles per hour straight-line winds, and a dangerous nocturnal tornado threat. And just when you thought this week was wild enough, the models are showing something even bigger. Still coming. Before I break this down, drop your city in the comments so I can update you personally. Friends, Chicago, Kansas City, Rochester, Minneapolis, tell me where you are and I've got you covered, y'all. If somebody you love is in tornado country right now, share this before you scroll on by. Please. All right, let us get into what is driving this week because the setup is one for the record books. The pattern is locked in full repeat mode, storm system after storm system rolling out of the Rockies. Gulf moisture pumps dew points into the 60s and low 70s by Tuesday, pure July level humidity in April. Over 3,000 joules per kilogram of storm energy is loading up across Iowa, Illinois, and lower Michigan on Tuesday. To put that in perspective, 1,500 joules is already considered dangerous, so 3,000 is flat out double trouble. When you see those numbers in April, you are looking at the ingredients for a major outbreak, period. Now let us start with today. Monday, April 13th, the split thread is already firing up right now. Folks, 12 million people are staring down 2 completely separate severe weather zones on Monday at the exact same time. Up north, a volatile warm front draped from Minneapolis to Milwaukee is the trigger for Monday's northern storms. Down south, a dry line from western North Texas through southwest Oklahoma is every bit as dangerous today. Here is what keeps old buddy Tom up at night. That warm air lid breaks today and breaks hard. Somewhere between 4 and 8 p.m. tonight, right during the evening commute, those storms are going to explode. It is going to feel like a perfectly nice Monday afternoon, right until suddenly it gets super muggy outside. That muggy feeling is your signal the warm front just passed you and supercells could fire within minutes. If you feel that sudden humidity shift today, do not wait around. Get to shelter immediately, y'all. The bullseye for Monday is the Twin Cities to Madison, Wisconsin corridor that is the real danger zone today. Rochester, Minnesota, Owatonna if you are in this zone. Get your vehicles in the garage before 3 p.m. Apple-sized hail 3 inches across could shatter windshields and punch right through certain kinds of roofing. This is not hyperbole. This is the kind of hail that leaves a neighborhood looking like a war zone. The wind shear profiles are flat out screaming supercells for Monday. These storms have a very high ceiling. Down in Texas and Oklahoma, some models show 0 rain, but others show something going ballistic really fast. If a supercell punches through the cap down south, it is tapping into 2,500 joules of pure storm fuel. You might only have 10 minutes between the first raindrop and a tornado warning in parts of Texas today. 10 minutes, that number, is something every single person near Oklahoma City and Wichita Falls needs to hear. Make sure your weather radio has fresh batteries and your phone is not on silent today, not once. Down in South Texas, a 993 millibar low is already pushing very heavy rainfall toward the Octa 35 corridor. Some model guidance shows double-digit rainfall totals near San Antonio, Waco, and Austin by Monday morning. Drought-hardened Texas ground will not absorb a single drop water run straight off into instant flash floods. Turn around. Do not drown. That is the rule for South and Central Texas today through overnight hours. Let me stop right here and check in with y'all. I need your full attention before Tuesday arrives. The atmosphere is trending even more explosive today than yesterday. That trend is heading the wrong way. Folks, I am leaning toward a Tuesday risk upgrade from slight to enhanced, and that changes everything, plain and simple. Tuesday, April 15th, 36 million in the threat zone bullseye stretching all the way to the Great Lakes. Chicago, Detroit, Kansas City, y'all are all on high alert for Tuesday, and that is straight talk from me. Wind shear on Tuesday is even more intense than Monday, 60 to 70 knots, practically guaranteeing supercell development. 60 to 70 knots is the kind of shear that produces the long-tracked, strong tornadoes that people do not forget. The worst of Tuesday starts between 3 and 6 p.m. and it continues well past midnight into early Wednesday morning. Nighttime tornadoes are the deadliest kind. Most folks are sound asleep and they never hear those sirens go off. Please tonight, tomorrow night, every night this week, crank those phone emergency alerts to full volume. A 2 a.m. tornado warning, Tuesday is not one to sleep through. Your phone may be your lifeline then. Picture a retired teacher in Chicago going to bed Tuesday night thinking the worst storm's already past her. That scenario keeps meteorologists up all night, and it is exactly why I am telling you all this now. Before the squall line forms Tuesday evening, isolated supercells out ahead of it are the ones that worry me most. Those discrete supercells can drop tornadoes and giant hail before anyone in the Midwest even sees a dark cloud. Then, as evening falls, those storms merge into a massive squall line pushing 70 to 80 miles per hour straight line winds. 70 to 80 miles per hour winds flatten fences, rip siding off houses, and leave hundreds of thousands in the dark. Folks, if you have Tuesday evening plans in Chicago or Milwaukee, be done and home before sunset. Plain and simple. Now, Tuesday has outbreak potential, but good Lord, this week absolutely does not stop after Tuesday either. Wednesday keeps it going. 32 million people from Dallas all the way up the Mississippi Valley still at risk. Wednesday is day 3, and the truth nobody wants to hear, Wednesday could be your worst day yet. By day 3, folks start tuning out, and that is exactly when these storms catch people off guard. Y'all. Damaging wind gusts, trees and power lines down, hail big enough to crack siding all on the table Wednesday. Thursday pushes the system east toward the Ohio River Valley, less serious, but still worth watching closely. Just when you thought the atmosphere was going to tap out, nope, a fresh system reloads by Friday. Friday, April 17th brings a new Storm Prediction Center outlook for Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma. Here's what flat out blew me away. A lot of Arctic air is sitting right behind Friday's cold fronts. Arctic air colliding with a warm, humid air mass on Friday could make that round worse than anything this week. Cold and warm air crashing together on Friday, that right there is the exact recipe for a violent outbreak. Let me break this down city by city so nobody watching is left in the dark about their risk. Folks, Minneapolis, Monday is your day, warm front pushing through. Storm timing 4 to 8 p.m. Have a plan. Madison and Rochester, Minnesota get vehicles in the garage before 3 p.m. Apple-sized hail is coming today. Chicago and Milwaukee. Tuesday evening into Tuesday night is when your risk peaks and the nocturnal threat is real. Detroit and Grand Rapids, you are in Tuesday's zone with large hail and damaging winds as your main concern. Kansas City and St. Louis Tuesday and Wednesday both carry active severe weather risk for you this week. Oklahoma City and Tulsa Monday's dry line plus Friday's Arctic front puts you at risk twice this week. Wichita friends, you're sitting right on that dry line today with all hazards possible. Stay heads up all day. Dallas and Fort Worth Monday's dry line plus flash flooding overnight makes today a 2-threat day for y'all. San Antonio and Austin double-digit rainfall totals possible by Monday morning. Flash flooding is your main story. Memphis, Nashville, and Little Rock. Wednesday is your risk day as that system pushes east right through your area. What does your sky look like right now? Clear and sunny, building clouds, or already stormy out your window? Drop your sky report in the comments. Those real-time updates help every single viewer in your same zone, y'all. Now, here's something I want to spend real time on because it goes way beyond this week. Friends, the models are showing not one but 2 major Arctic blasts on the way, and both are genuinely concerning. 2 Arctic blasts in April, the kind of thing that makes gardeners cringe and meteorologists reach for the coffee. Arctic blast number 1 arrives around April 20th, just 1 week from today, hitting the Great Lakes hard. We are talking snow squalls possible for the Great Lakes and potentially mixing into the mid-Atlantic region. April snow squalls after 80-degree heat in the southeast just this week. That is April 2026 for you. The good news is Arctic Blast 1 looks short-lived. Warm air rushes back just as fast as the cold. But here is the kicker: that rapid warm, cold, warm cycle is exactly what keeps reloading the severe weather engine. Every time warm air surges back behind a cold front, the atmosphere loads right back up for more storms. That is exactly why we expect above-average severe weather activity straight through the end of April. Y'all, Arctic Blast number 2 shows up in the model guidance for late April, and this one is something else. The European model is actually showing snowfall mixing into the mid-Atlantic and a full snow event for New England. Good Lord, late April snow in New England, take that with a grain of salt, still pretty far out. But the pattern is locked in repeating cold blasts, warm surges, then violent severe weather over and over. And here is what makes Arctic Blast 2 potentially the most dangerous one of the whole bunch. Friends, that second blast slams into warm, humid air, and that collision could spark a significant outbreak. Friends, Models are showing thunderstorm activity finally returning to the southeast and mid-Atlantic areas starved for rain. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, y'all may finally get some meaningful rainfall late in April, fingers crossed. The southeast drought has been downright brutal, and if this second Arctic blast delivers that rain, wonderful. Do not ignore the severe weather risk that comes along. Rain is welcome, but prepare for storms too. Y'all, let me stop one more time. I want to check in before we get to the checklist. Friends, are you in one of the risk zones this week, and is your shelter plan already locked in? Friends, drop your city below and tell me I will respond with your specific risk for this entire week, y'all. Now here's your plain and simple 5-step checklist before any storm gets here this week. Good people. Step 1. Find your NOAA weather radio right now and make sure it has fresh batteries in it tonight. That radio wakes you at 2 a.m. and gives you those precious extra minutes to reach shelter and stay safe. Step 2, charge your phone fully every night this week and crank those emergency alerts all the way up. Step 3, walk through your home right now and find the safest interior room on your lowest floor today. A bathroom or closet under the stairs, pick your spot and make sure every family member knows it cold. Step 4, put a small kit near that shelter spot with water, a flashlight, your meds, and important papers. Step 5, decide right now where your pets go during a warning before any siren ever starts blaring tonight. A grandmother in Kansas City who knocks all 5 of those out tonight is locked and loaded all week long. Here's something I want every person watching over 50 to hear. This comes from the heart, friends. You grew up knowing what a loaded green sky and a freight train roar meant. Those instincts are real. Remember when your mom or dad would look at that greenish sky and get everyone inside without a single word? That wisdom your parents had, trust it this week, but also trust your official warnings and move first. By the time a tornado is visible outside your window to act safely may already be completely gone. Has your area been hit by a bad tornado or major severe weather? Before, drop your story below. Friends, I read every single one of those stories. They remind every viewer watching that this is real life. Not just numbers on a map, not just percentages on a screen, real families, real neighborhoods, real communities. Now, let me talk about something that does not get enough airtime: tornado fatigue during multi-day events. Y'all, by Wednesday, a lot of people start mentally checking out after 3 straight days of watches and warnings. And I get it, storm after storm after storm is genuinely exhausting both physically and mentally. Friends, but here is the honest truth: Wednesday's squall line might hit harder than Tuesday's supercells for your area. The day you decide the worst is over is sometimes the exact day the worst actually arrives. Folks, now here is something about Monday's warm front that every Midwest viewer needs to understand fully. Friends, that warm front draped from Minneapolis to Milwaukee is not just a weather boundary sitting on a map today. It is the trigger storms that fire right along that front will be surface-based and tornado-capable on contact. The moment that front passes your location, you will feel it. The air gets suddenly heavy and thick. Think about a farmer outside Madison this afternoon, sunny morning, birds singing, then that sudden heavy air. That heaviness is the warm front. When it passes, you may have less than an hour before supercells fire. North of that front, supercells are still intense but elevated, more likely to drop big hail than tornadoes. South of that front, any storm that fires could be surface-based and capable of dropping a tornado immediately. Whether it is hail or tornadoes today depends entirely on which side of that warm front you are on. Let me close with the full picture so these numbers stick with you long after this video ends. Friends, 36 million in Tuesday's zone, 32 million in Wednesday's zone, fresh system Friday, and 2 Arctic blasts after that. Apple-sized hail today, a 2 a.m. nocturnal threat Tuesday, double-digit rain in Texas this week is the real deal. The atmosphere is locked in repeat mode, and meteorologists expect above-average severe weather all the way through April. Think about your neighbor in Wichita, your church friend in Kansas City. Do they know what this week holds? Share this right now. The most prepared neighborhood is always the one where somebody shared the warning early. If you are a gardener, cover those plants before April 20th because Arctic Blast 1 will surprise people. If you are in tornado country, understand that the risk does not end with this week. Not even close. 2 Arctic blasts are lined up to fuel 2 more rounds of severe weather after everything this week settles down. This is the April your grandkids will ask you about. Someday make sure your story has a good ending. A prepared family in tornado country has always been a family that comes through, and that includes yours. Always! Check your weather every morning this week. Keep those alerts on every night and look out for each other. Monday's cap breaks between 4 and 8 p.m. Tonight I will be right here with a full update. Friends, Tuesday brings the biggest show for 36 million. Tom will be right here for every minute of it. Drop your city one last time and I will see y'all right back here tomorrow morning. Friends, let me take a quick temperature snapshot so you can feel just how split this country is right now. Chicago sitting at 58 with thunderstorm risks today, temperatures that warm combined with that wind shear above. Kansas City at 68 and Wichita at 68, both sitting right on that active dryline boundary today. Oklahoma City at 68, Tulsa at 70, both with active storm risk and both on high alert today. Dallas at 70 and Fort Worth at 70, both of y'all watching flash flooding and storm potential simultaneously. Minneapolis at 60 with thunderstorm risk and that warm front pushing through makes today even more dangerous. Nashville at 72 and Memphis at 74, both beautiful right now, but Wednesday storms are coming your way, friends. Atlanta at 72 and Charlotte at 68, staying on the quieter side of the country this week relatively. Miami at 80 and Jacksonville at 76, South Florida stays well clear of the severe weather picture all week. Denver at 58 and Phoenix at 78, both sunny. The Southwest is sitting this wild, wild week completely out. But for the heartland, Kansas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, it is a genuinely different story out there. And that north to south temperature contrast right there is the engine that keeps feeding all of these storms. That contrast between Phoenix at 78 and Minneapolis at 60 is the exact fuel for this relentless pattern. Y'all. Now let me leave y'all with one final thought from old buddy Tom before we head out today. Good people. The back-to-back Arctic blasts coming later this month are something meteorologists have not seen in recent years. 2 cold air intrusions in the same April, each one crashing into warm, humid air and triggering violent weather. This is genuinely the kind of pattern that writes itself into weather history books for April in the central U.S. So from Wichita to Milwaukee, Dallas to Des Moines, stay close, stay informed, and watch out for each other. Stay close, stay ready, and remember, a prepared family out there is never just a statistic, y'all. Drop your city one final time. Every location matters, and I will see y'all back here tomorrow. Friends, stay weather aware. Look out for your neighbors. And remember, we are all in this together out there. Being prepared is not about being scared. It is about being the person your whole family counts on, y'all. 2 Arctic blasts plus a full week of severe weather April 2026 is genuinely something else. Good people. Check your weather every morning, keep those alerts running every night, and watch out for each other always.